Hey, Egghead Island, it's that arc. It might be the best arc in One Piece, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm saying over Marineford, over Wano, over Enies Lobby, because there are so many reveals back to back to back, and it's been so crazy. I used to not do this because I used to not get spoiled like that, but I've had to start blocking and muting words on Twitter like a few days before even the leaks come out, because that's how much like people have been spoiling stuff on Twitter. And this chapter, it was trending even before the leaks or the scans were out. That's amazing. I know I've currently started doing summer classes yesterday. I have statistics works I have to do today. Bump all that. I'm doing this review first. I also was doing a Classroom Elite video that I had to wait for another day, but man, this chapter was amazing. If you guys enjoy regular anime content, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Also, I've currently started live streaming on Twitch. I've been doing a different reaction. I'm currently reading the Berserk manga. I believe I'm about a fourth of the way through. If you guys want to be a part of that, I will leave my Twitch in the description below. But that out of the way, let's get into the review. Chapter 1085, titled The Death of Nefatari Cobra. Let's talk about it. So in the last chapter, Cobra, he had an audience with Imu. We know this is important because the throne is supposed to remain empty. And so him seeing this, Cobra's like, what the fluff? He said, why are you sitting here? He's amazed. And so Imu said that, hey, I will sit. Well, first off, they reference themselves as Mew, and apparently that's supposed to be Imu in the third person. And so he is going, or they're going and explaining two of the questions that Cobra has brought answers to, and then he also wants an answer in return. And so Cobra, he's like, I've heard the name Mu before. He said it could be, well, Imu. He said it could be a coincidence, but that was one of the names of the 20 was also called that. So one of the original 20 people 800 years ago, they were named Imu. Now, this could either mean Imu, this is a descendant of one of the Imu in the past, or it could be that Imu just hasn't aged or somehow, some way survived 800 years and is here currently. I'm not necessarily sure which one it is, but we'll probably figure that out in the future. And so Imu's like, all right, you can ask that question. I don't give a fluff. I'm not going to answer you. We kinda, but we kinda didn't. At the same time, it's like we got half of the answer to what the name the D is. So it is called a moniker. If you look that up, it basically just means a name. I had a little bit of dyslexia, so when I read it, I saw it as monkey ear. I was like, well, what the fuck did that have to do with anything? But that's besides the point. So the D is the name of their ancient enemy, and so basically he's saying nowadays people really don't know exactly what it means or its true meaning, but back then it meant a lot. And Imu, they're irritated because apparently Queen Lili had a great blunder a long time ago, and the same goes for the scholars who of Ohara tried to figure out the Void Century. Apparently the poneglyphs, they weren't ever supposed to be scattered across the world. They were supposed to remain wherever they were at. I'm guessing in the world government's hands. And so because of this, the pirate era and people searching the history, that's how all of this started. And so the question by Imu is, did Queen Lili end up doing this on purpose, or was it an accident? And so all of this happening, and the elders, they're sitting up in here, they're getting ready, pulling out guns, the sword getting ready, because Cobra, he's about to die because nobody's supposed to know that Imu exists. So Cobra really has no choice. And so apparently there was a letter left by Queen Lili, and her full name was written on it, and Cobra knows all about it. I find it funny because Cobra, he's like, yo, is there any way you guys could, hey, let me off the hook? And so they're like, nah, man, the moment that you saw Imu, your death was sealed. Sabo, he's chilling outside. He's like, there's a sinister aura going around here. He's like, I probably shouldn't be here. But all of a sudden, apparently Cobra says the full name of Nefatari, Queen Lili, she has a D in her name. And then Imu gets all mad and says D and attacks Cobra. It looks like a shadow arrow. For some reason, the first time I read it, because I read this chapter about 2 or 3 times, and I'm still a little bit not confused, but it's a lot to take in. And eventually I will probably Friday, that's what I'm pushing for. I want to talk about a video in regards to the D, but apparently the arrow, it looked to me I got season 1 Demon Slayer vibes from it. It's not the same thing, but that's just the first thing I thought about it. And so the arrow, it pierced Cobra. Then all of a sudden Sabo leaps in, he uses his fire fist, and then after that he goes and attacks Emu, when Emu's like, yo, when did you appear here? And then he blocks, I keep on saying he, we don't know Emu's identity, I'm sorry if I keep saying he. They blocked Sabo's flame attack, and then all of a sudden it spawns like a bunch of shadows around. And to me, it reminds me of Fushiguro from Jujutsu Kaisen. His 10 shadows technique is not the same, but the fact that he's able to spawn, I guess, figures or shadows like this, because he doesn't have the dark fruit, because Blackbeard controls darkness. He has the Yami Yami no Mi. So this is all speculation by me, but apparently Emu has something that allows him to manipulate shadows. But now that I'm thinking about it, at the same time, Morio's not dead, and that's what allows him to do it. So I'm not really sure exactly what Emu's fruit is, but maybe it'll, I don't even know if he has a fruit, but it just appears from what I'm seeing, he can control or make objects out of darkness, I guess. We'll go from there. I'll probably have to do a little bit more research and go back and see different devil fruits that haven't been already claimed, because you can't have more than one. I guess there are artificial devil fruits too, but Emu probably doesn't have one. And so Sabo, he's talking to Cobra. He's like, yo, how do you know Luffy? And Luffy said, Cobra said, hey, Luffy saved him once. And so Cobra and Sabo are trying to get up out of there. He's carrying him. And so Cobra's like, hey, I think you should let me go. I'm nothing but dead weight, because Cobra's fated to die. He's number one, he's old, and he already suffered a pretty grave wound. Apparently, well, obviously because he is a descendant of the Nefatari family, that he has the moniker D in his name as well, so he shares it along with Luffy and the other characters as well. And this also makes sense to why Emu was so fascinated with there was a panel, I don't remember the chapter or the episode, but Emu had different wanted posters or different people's posters, and some of them had swords through it, all of that. And if Queen Lili had D in their name, and then Cobra had D in his name, it only makes sense that Vivy, she would have a D in her name, and that's why Emu's going after her, because the D are the enemy, well, Emu's enemy. And also there's a flashback. I find it funny because Sabo was like, yo, you guys both have D in your name, and it's like, who cares the name? It's like, do you want a D in your name, Sabo? Hey, you could be Sad Bo. I find it funner. Sad Debo. That's just hilarious. Then as they're escaping, now this could be because Sabo had his guard down a little bit because he was protecting Cobra, but at the same time he gets pierced with an arrow. And besides maybe the flashback or his training, this is probably the first time that we've seen Sabo. And Sabo's a Logia too. I want to mention that. So Sabo taking damage like this, it's the fruit or whatever Emu did either has to be Haki infused, or that it's a natural counteractant to Sabo's fruit, because Sabo took damage and he's sitting up in here and bleeding, and took considerable damage. Like, Sabo just don't bleed like that. Emu has to be strong, and this makes me wonder who the fluff is going to be Emu's final opponent. Is Luffy gonna have to take her down? Sabo gonna take her down? Dragon, etc. And so apparently Cobra, he's trying to say exactly what was on the letter left by Queen Lili, but we kind of get like this big old panel over it. It's not really much there. I believe all I could make out from it was must be, and it said fly the flag heralds the world eventual dawn. And we know about Petra and a lot of other people have mentioned how the Straw Hats and Luffy will be the one to bring the dawn. Warpol, he saw all this and he's like, oh shoot, Cobra's dead, I gotta get up out of here. So he starts dipping. I also want to mention King Riku and King Neptune, they're at the Reverie meeting. Cobra and Warpol aren't there, they mentioned that. And so apparently Shirahoshi, she's about to leave. She wants to say bye to Vivy, but Vivy is kidnapped by CP0 agents, the former members CP9, Jabra, and what's her name? I was about to say Stussy, but Khalifa. So they kidnap her because of how important Cobra is, and that, well, she can't get away as well. Also, I find it funny how Leo and Sai, they were like, yo, we're part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet and we destroyed the Celestial Dragon. And thinking about it, in the last review, I was like, why would people mess with an emperor? But at the same time, this happened in the past. So Luffy only, even though he still was like a pretty big name pirate with a 1.5 billion bounty, he wasn't an emperor yet. So that's why people can't necessarily, well, back then nobody was necessarily, I don't want to say scared of him, but he didn't have enough of a name, if that makes sense. And so after all of this, we see that Warpol, he breaks through, and Vivy's like, oh, this is how I'm gonna escape. So she grabs on the Warpol and they escape. We know that currently she is with Morgans, with Warpol in hiding. Forgot to mention this as well. I love Fujitora. I really hope that he ends up becoming the new fleet admiral when it's all said and done, because apparently Ryo Kugi, he was mad at Fujitora because he assisted in allowing the rebellion, or the Revolutionary Army, allowing them to take the slaves, which I'm cool with, because obviously nobody wants to be a slave. And so it just shows that, hey, Fujitora, he has some morals and that he's really one of the good Marine. I don't know about you guys, I'm surprised about us getting the reveal of what the D is. I mean, we already knew that the D, that they were people who were to challenge the celestial dragons, challenge the gods, so we knew that aspect, but we didn't know that the name was something that even people 800 years ago necessarily was feared about. Now, the part that we didn't get is exactly what like the D stands for. Like, we don't know if it stands for devil, demon, devourer, I don't know. I just came up with 3 names, but other than that, we finally got the definition of the D, so I find that pretty cool. Like I said, I do plan on doing a video about the D. I would probably I'd say probably maybe Friday. I want to consult some other people and see what they think about this chapter before I get into it. But let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. It is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.